On the afternoon of Thursday, March 6th, the West Vancouver Chamber of Commerce arranged a panel discussion at Park Royal on the topic of keeping your business fresh. Participants included host Michael Alexander of Dominion Lending Centres, Christine Baracos of Baracos and Brand Menswear, and Holly Kemp of Trolls Restaurant.
Everything.
You've got to find out where you want to be in 1, 3, and 5 years. You're going to figure out how any changes impact you and your family, and how it's going to change you in the future, how you're going to achieve your goals that you set for yourself, and why is it going to be different than where you are right now. The hardest point that I found was actually making the move. For me, it was years and years of talking it over with my wife over there and saying, I've tried to change from within the organization. I've tried to make as many suggestions as I could. If it isn't going to change, then it's got to be me that has to make the change. And so that's when I made the move. I just said, you know what, that's it. So be honest with yourself on what your weaknesses are. Ask someone close to you for help if you are stumped. Then decide which best practices you can take with you to your new business and which weaknesses you're going to dump and leave behind in your old incarnation. As far as the location goes, you don't always need a Park Royal location, which is retail like this. 95% of the time, most businesses can function in an office at their home. But what I always say to the people who are working within the home office, make sure it's a professional location in your home. And last, what I found was I need the initial and ongoing support from my family, friends, and my professional network. I keep working my network. I use my LinkedIn, I use my Facebook. Everybody is really comfortable with contacting me via those routes. But LinkedIn I'm really comfortable with. And work with your family and friends and just say to them, look, is there any way that you could please refer either friends that you know of that need my work or family? Let's just see if we can get that going from the initial part. Everything else will follow through. Now, luckily for me, I have 15 years of doing pretty much the same job at the old business. And so I've got previous clients and real estate agents that I was working with there as well. So I had a leg up on most other people in what they were doing. Like I said, it's a work in progress, always evolving. Now for me, the difference between why I left the old job and the new job is that today I look forward to coming to work every day. It makes a big difference to me. Coming here every day is just a breath of fresh air. I really like what I'm doing now. So that's basically the way that I'm starting fresh.
In 1993, I opened a menswear store with my then partner, John Clark. I was on council for 9 years, actually. And I was 24, and it was kind of a win-win situation because he wanted a succession plan, which was smart, and I was young and enthusiastic and excited about owning my own business. We had 12 years of consecutive increases. We had a very successful store. It kind of grew, and we were excited, and we're both enthusiastic. And then in 2008, the economy kind of tanked, and I think most retail sort of suffered. It was tough for a while. We noticed that a lot of our customers were retiring or moving away or passing away, which happens in West Vancouver. And it was tough for a traditional menswear store like ours to attract a new customer. So I decided that what we would do is rebrand. And that led me on this sort of path that I'm on today. So the first question was sort of, well, how do we attract a new customer? What do we do? The customers that followed us or sort of continued with us, we had to keep them and attract a new customer. So that it was kind of a complicated thing because we didn't want to be intimidating to the new customer, but we also wanted to be relevant to the new customer. So what did we do? We designed a new logo, a new exciting, interesting logo, something that was young and fresh. We did a new store design. I spent quite a bit of money, probably too much money on my new store. So I have this new logo, this new young looking store. What do we do? How do we attract this new customer? Social media. The new world is different. We have to get we're constantly trying to find new ways to get customers in. And I think social media is a big part of that. In November, we did an ugly mustache competition, which
I'm sure
there's a lot of
who won.
there's a lot of them. Actually, what we've done, we aligned ourselves with industry and bloggers. And I really feel that this has been a really big part of our success, is that what we would do is we would say, okay, who do we like? We'd see who they liked, and then we'd sign up with them. And then, of course, those people would sign up and like us. So it's this sort of
Mutual admiration.
yeah, mutual admiration. And then one last thing that I think is really important was staffing. So when we kind of looked at, when I rebranded, I needed to go after, again, as I said, that demographic that still needs to buy things, needs to dress for work. That tends to be, a certain age group, which is, I would say 35 to say 60. So our staff is representative of those age groups. And that was really important to me, because the men's room tended to be a lot of older guys working there, and then me. And it had to kind of match what the demographic was that we were going after. I think that's pretty much my rebranding.
So when I first started at Trolls 9 years ago, I was presented with the task so eloquently stated by my dear boss, Gary Troll. I want things to be different, but you can't change a thing. So for the first year, I took on a learning approach to discover more about how this restaurant was operated and why it stayed around for so long. So the building became my first task, as it decided to test me even more than the employees did. And I decided to fight back and went over the band-aided building that I now lovingly refer to as my work/home. I set about to upgrade the facility and give us stronger legs to stand on. Okay, so with a 30-hour turnaround and several workers giving up their hard-earned sleep, we made it all happen. And that was the true beginning of the transformation and the start of all the changes I wasn't allowed to make. So the keeping it fresh was underway. I then looked to the staff and the suppliers to see who amongst them took this business to heart, not just the pocketbook, and soon clean house of those who just simply didn't care. The passion had returned, and I had to capture and capitalize on this newfound enthusiasm that had been sorely lacking. Suppliers also found their way on my hit list, as I thought, wait, I spend a lot of money. What are you doing for me? Selfish? No, pretty good business practice. So, in addition to the staff and the suppliers, I took a good look at the community and our neighbors, and I felt that too was important in the growth and the revitalization of not just the restaurant, but the village as well. So I've been privileged to join forces with our own Christy McPhee, and with a spirit and determination that is only getting better in time, we both work with the Horseshoe Bay Business Association in the creation and the implementation of events, meeting, and planning that will see Horseshoe Bay soon find itself on a new world map. And the next challenge was the customer. What worked, what sold, what held us up, what took us down, what needed to go, what needed to stay. All these questions came to the forefront, and as a team, we started the process of analyzing, training, learning, sharing, laughing, loving, and bonding so that we knew how and when to support each other and the customer. We took the time to truly look at our customers, their needs, their wants, their expectations, their own history with this landmark restaurant, and once again, we made changes. We assessed our menu, we worked to refine and define it so we could meet all these expectations and limitations, all the while keeping with the family restaurant serving families' traditions we have become so famous for. We changed what needed to be changed, yet maintained what truly is the core and soul of the restaurant, which is family. We kept our history. We kept our traditional fish and chips. Although, trust me, the batter's improved substantially because we use more beer. And that's just my personal opinion. We kept the windows that offer the pristine and ever-changing landscape of the beautiful place we call Horseshoe Bay. We kept the clam chowder that is the original recipe Joe and Dot started 69 years ago, and hell, we even kept Gary. So, how does all this tie into keeping it fresh? In our own daily and yearly footsteps that we've taken to instill passion, feeling, stability, and permanence amongst the waves of change. It is because we as humans are comfortable in tradition, secure in going back after 20, 30, 40 years to a restaurant and retrieving the same feeling you had when you were that kid that came in with your parents. Keeping it fresh means you care. It means you take the time to find out what your own business truly means to you and to your customers. Keeping it fresh means you fear the change. You don't fear the change. You find a way to embrace what that change will mean. And keeping it fresh shows me that if you do anything with passion, it will always stay fresh. So just one more note. I'm not done making changes. In 2015, Trolls plans on adding a sidebar to the restaurant, which will allow for additional seating and a new sense of life to the streets of Horseshoe Bay. In 2016, I plan on throwing Trolls' 70th birthday party, which if I have my way, which I am able to do, will be the best party Trolls has ever seen. So, as you can see, I'm continuing with the passion and the commitment I started out with, and the amazing team of staff, and the awesome customers, and the outstanding neighbors, and I'll do my best to meld the yesteryears of traditions with the future years of freshness. Thank you.